Italy says it could soon reach the peak of its outbreak, possibly within the next 7 to 10 days. The prediction comes as the country's stringent lockdown measures appear to be working, with confirmed infections rising by just 4% in the past 24 hours. The rate of recovery has also been increasing. But the government isn't letting down its guard just yet. The lockdown, which was due to be lifted on Friday, has now been extended till Easter on the 12th of April. Meanwhile, in Spain, the situation appears to be getting worse. Even though the country operates under similar restrictions to Italy, it's recorded nearly 850 deaths in the past day, taking the total to nearly 8,200. More than 9,200 new infections have pushed the tally past 94,400. Lockdown measures across Europe may be helping to flatten the curve, but the economic cost of extended quarantines is taking its toll. The Eurozone has been forecast to enter a recession this year, with several members slashing growth outlooks. European Union finance ministers will be meeting this week via video link-up to finalize details of the stimulus measures. Now, Lucy Hoff joins us live from Brussels for more on this. Lucy, we're seeing some signs that lockdown measures are working, especially in Italy.
Yes, the lockdown measures have now been in place there for 3 weeks, and as you say, that has now been extended into the middle of April. Some finally good news coming from Europe's worst affected country, that the rate of new infection is now at its lowest since the outbreak began, at just 4%, which is 4 times less than what it was 2 weeks ago. So a really encouraging drop there. And as you say, also the rate of people cured of the infection is also at record highs. So that is some good news for health officials in the country who have been grappling with the extraordinary number of cases there and that extraordinarily high death rate as well. France, we are also, yesterday it recorded its highest ever death toll, but there are hopes that the lockdown measures that have been extended again into the middle of April will start to take some effect. And certainly the message that we're hearing from a number of European countries that they are expecting the peak of cases to be experienced in the coming days, and that the number of cases will then start to decrease. But tragically, a different story in Spain. 9,000 new cases, another record death toll in just 7 days. Hospitals, particularly in and around the capital, are being swamped with patients, and healthcare systems already in a situation of crisis. Worth saying too that here in Belgium, we've also had tragically the death of a 12-year-old girl, which is the youngest victim of the coronavirus in Europe.
Lucy, the European Union is counting the huge economic cost that's been wrought by this coronavirus outbreak, but we know now that leaders there are working on measures to mitigate some of that fallout. What do we know?
Yes, there is a bit of a row going on about this at the moment. Of course, the message from the European Union is about solidarity, about helping those countries most in need. But what there's a dispute over is the best way to do this. We've got those worst affected European countries like Italy and Spain calling for the use of what's become known as corona bonds, which would essentially be a common debt instrument to raise funds. Italy and Spain say that, these kind of extraordinary measures are needed in these sorts of circumstances, that we are effectively facing a situation of war. But those corona bonds are facing resistance from countries in the north of Europe, such as Germany and particularly the Netherlands in recent days, who are concerned about risk sharing, particularly being dragged down if they are asked to share debt with countries in the south, such as Italy, who are, of course, already heavily indebted and are likely to be in severe economic downturn, continuing to fall as they continue to grapple with this crisis. So there is a row going on about that at the moment, and particularly also the use of the ESM, which is the EU's emergency bailout fund of some 400 billion euros. Some are saying that perhaps credit lines could be extended to countries like Italy and Spain to help them cope. So finance ministers will be meeting later this week, and they will then be presenting their findings at another video conference towards the end of next week. But these are extraordinary circumstances, and certainly there is some conflict about the best way to deal with the economic fallout from this crisis.
All right, Lucy, always good to talk to you. Lucy Hoff there, reporting from Brussels.